Royal Caribbean announced plans this week to set up a relief operation at the Grand Bahama shipyard and plans to schedule one of its ships to arrive in Freeport each day with relief food. Michael Bayley is the president and CEO of Royal Caribbean International. Michael, thank you. I know busy times for you. It's difficult really to overstate the importance of the Bahamas and Nassau, isn't it, for the Caribbean industry, for your ships and your competitors. You all at some point go to Nassau.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, that's correct. The Bahamas has always been an incredibly popular destination and will continue to be very popular. So it's really important for tourism. As you saw in the previous segment, it's an attractive destination and it means a lot to the economy.
Double-edged sword for the Bahamas now, because they want you back, and they want you back urgently, and there's no question about that. The tourism director was talking about that, as you heard. But how do you go about it and at the same time help the Bahamas? What are you doing?
Well, I think first of all, I think it's important to get the perspective. The Bahamas is an incredibly large number of islands spread all the way from the north near Florida, way down south to the Turks and Caicos. So it's an extensive chain of islands, and I think in the former segment that was identified. But for the cruise, for Royal Caribbean, we've been very focused on relief efforts, particularly feeding people in Grand Bahama, evacuating people, and bringing generators. So today, our first ship to call in Grand Bahama, we provided 10,000 hot meals today. We've been working with NEMA, which is the Bahamian equivalent of FEMA, and the Bahamian government and the Bahamas Feeding Network. They've set up a system of churches and community centers where we're able to distribute the food today. And we also delivered over 350 generators, 7,500 pounds of pet food, 50,000 diapers, and many more supplies, etc. So our intention tomorrow is that we will deliver 20,000 meals and then 20,000 meals every single day for the next several days. And we'll be evacuating people from Grand Bahama to Nassau today, and hopefully every day we'll be able to take people who want to get to Nassau.
And which ships are you using for this? I mean, the ships, for example, that brought all those badly needed goods, were they cruise ships that you have sort of added cargo to, or are you mandating specific ships?
Well, we have a large fleet that operates in the Caribbean and a large fleet that operates from the eastern seaboard of the United States. As you pointed out previously, many of those ships go into and around the Bahamas. So in many cases, we're diverting those ships so that they can call in Grand Bahama, and we're loading those ships with provisions, supplies, etc. in many of the Florida ports that we sail from in the eastern seaboard. So it's really a question of diverting our ships so that we can bring supplies, provisions, and then we'll pick up people in Grand Bahama and we'll move on to Nassau, which is about 7 hours sailing from Grand Bahama.
Finally, the way in which the industry responds to this, both from a human level, obviously, is very important, but also, this is an important part of your business. You are an important part of the communities in the Caribbean. So for you and your colleagues, it's part of your life to be involved now in helping those people who are such an important part of your business.
Well, our company's name is Royal Caribbean. We started 50 years ago. Our first port of call was the Bahamas. We have over 500 Bahamian employees who work for Royal Caribbean, and obviously all of their families. We very much are part of the Caribbean community, and we're neighbors. So we have an awful lot of volunteers, more volunteers than we know what to do with. Our employees want to help out, and there's a lot of passion and caring from all of the people around us, including other companies that we do business with have volunteered and offered to help. Right. Many companies have contributed the supplies and provisions that we're taking to the Bahamas. So it really is a community effort.